Kia ora level 2 PE whānau, welcome back again. This time round we'll be continuing with the scenario for John Doe or Joe Doe, and what we're wanting to do this time round is move on from identifying issues or factors which we need to increase in his components of fitness to create chronic adaptations to make him better. What we're going to do now is utilize the information we've gathered from the scenario. So it'll be similar to the information that you provide yourself with when you're creating your own program, so that we can create an effective program overview. Now, there was one other element that I wanted to touch on for us when we take into account this programming. Joe or John also has training 3 times a week, so we need to enter that too. So he has it on a Monday, as well as a Wednesday and a Sunday. So we're going to have to add that into his program too. So if we go to the program overview, now if you're in my class, you know that you have PE on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Fridays. So that means you'll have an hour period to train and do whatever you want. Now, first things first, if we follow the instructions, is to give a purpose to each day. Okay, so either targeting a specific component or components of fitness or a rest day, and we also should factor in the days in which John is also training for cycling. So if we go to right here, we pull up the sticky notes, we can see Monday and Wednesday and Sunday he's training, so we need to add that in. Okay, so cycling on the Monday, on the Wednesday, as well as the Sunday. Okay, so we've added that. Now, we know, again, if we click on our click notes, we can see that John has 4 components of fitness that we want to target so that we can create chronic adaptations within our body to improve these. So it might be, for example, the muscular strength in both his quadriceps, erector spinae, and deltoid. We want the muscle to grow, we want it to contract, so hopefully converting some of our type 2B fibers to replicate those of type 2A. Okay, so fast twitch, right, rather than slow twitch, making them stronger, and just train the body to get better at it. So potentially a little bit of muscle increase size there too. Those are our chronic adaptations. So let's pick a couple of these days that we're training and deal with the strength of deltoid. So I'll just abbreviate these. Okay, so if we go to Monday, because we're cycling then as well, or John's cycling there, we want to make it a little bit easier. So we'll only pick, let's say, delts. Okay, so that's upper body. So rests his legs. Delts, muscular strength, NS. Okay, and now because he also is training that day, we probably won't look at adding any extra stuff for his fitness levels, right? We don't want to overtax him, especially seeing as cycling uses similar groups to rowing on the rowing machine. Okay, so we'll remove that, or we won't factor that in, but we still will have an extra bit of time, right? We can't just work on our muscular strength for our delts for an hour. So if we go back here, check this out, and we can see muscular endurance of his triceps also needs some work, and we can too target some of his lower back. So we can put COF, right, tricep endurance. So that's going to be the target for that day, for our Monday. Now the Tuesday, hopefully he's feeling a bit fresh. He has to train, obviously, because he's utilizing his time wisely in class. Instead of, though, targeting the delts, probably wants to give those a rest, right? Should have worked them pretty hard on the day before. So his component of fitness this time that he'll be targeting should be his anaerobic endurance, okay? So anaerobic endurance. And we can also factor in, right, that he probably isn't going to be working for the full hour purely on his anaerobic endurance. Probably factor in some muscular endurance for his other body parts or similar movements that will be being utilized in 18.4 or 18.1, excuse my spelling for muscular E, so ME for muscular endurance. We can probably do a circuit there, right? Cycling for Wednesday, and we don't have PE then, so rest for that. Thursday, now hopefully he's still feeling pretty fresh, so we'll look at addressing this time around, right, his other component of fitness that we haven't looked at yet, his component of fitness of strength training, so muscular strength, MS, but this time being specific, again applying the principle of specificity to the deadlift movement, okay, because again he identified that as a weakness. So deadlift, which would again be the prime movers, that would be our erector spinae, ES for erector spinae, and as well as that his quadriceps, exactly, so we'll just put quads. Boom, easy as. Now again, it's a pretty short session if all he does is that, so I'd say we want to be specific to the cross training or CrossFit that we're doing here too, and it's pretty wise to do a circuit or even another thing that's going to target his anaerobic endurance. Okay, so again, we're doing CrossFit, which is just circuit training at the end of the day. So I'd say circuit, and we could just say muscular endurance could be a target there, as well as anaerobic fitness. Okay, so we'll put anaerobic fitness there too. And I know he said he's efficient and effective with these, but it's important to make sure that even our strengths, we continue to train so that we become more efficient with them. Because at the end of the day, if your body becomes as efficient as it can within certain parameters, so for example, his anaerobic energy system, his body decides, hey, this is actually perfect for it. We don't need to do any more growing. We don't need to adapt any further. The amount of lactic acid we produce is perfect for completing this workout. We won't change a thing. Then he's not going to improve, right? So we need to make sure we keep stressing the body to force it to chronically adapt, right? To make the body more tolerant of the pH level increasing, so more tolerant of that lactic acid in the system. Now, Friday comes along. Again, our muscular strength is one of our main concerns because it was the biggest limiting factor, right? And also potentially the muscular endurance of that. So I would say on Friday, it's the end of the week, he's already had 4 training sessions thus far. So it would probably pay to be a little bit nice to him, or if you're in this position yourself, and have a lighter day. Be a rest day, because again, we want to optimize as much time as we can to make sure we create those chronic adaptations to do as well as we can in our final assessment of 2.4 and gain those excellence credits. So I would say for this time round, we can almost have a bit of a fun day. So if you wanted to, and you were into bodybuilding, or you had another sport like cycling or rowing or even football, you would want to train components of fitness that both tie in to, right, the CrossFit sessions, but also your own sport. So let's say for him, now we know quadriceps, muscular strength increasing in there is a big deal. He did that on Thursday, so they'll probably be a bit sore. So let's say we go with muscular strength of his deltoid again, right? And then we might factor in some movements similar to that too on the day, or the hang clean and jerk. Deltoid, we could say, let's say he wants to be able to do a muscle up, so we would say muscular strength or power training for that. And that's also going to have a little bit of a carryover to his deadlift by being stronger in his latissimus dorsi, which is one of the minor agonists too. So we can see we can target a multitude of adaptations throughout the training week. Okay, so that's how we design our program, and Saturday would be a nice rest day for him. Now, after this, you're basically asked to apply principles and methods of training. We can see that we've already done the methods with muscular strength training, right? So that we know is muscular strength resistance training. Endurance training, we would probably put High repetition, so muscular endurance training, easy, right? Circuit training, fantastic. That's going to work on our muscular endurance as well as our anaerobic endurance on Tuesday. Thursday, we're looking at muscular strength. Again, resistance strength training, easy. Same for quads. And then we've got circuit-based training. So we can see, as we've written our components of fitness, our methods of training are starting to identify themselves. We've also brought in specificity with agonists of each of the major movements from the 18.4 and 18.1 that John's been doing, that he's identified as weaknesses. We've incorporated those and are targeting his specific weaknesses to ensure that he gets better. Now, this has made a pretty rock solid starting program. What he could even do is just replicate these workouts for the rest of the month, except we'd want to apply progressive overload and change some of the parameters within it to ensure John doesn't plateau. Now I'll show you what that will look like at the beginning of next video and how we utilize this information to create an actual training program in our training program logs. Cool, so I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it helps you design your own programs. Have a fantastic evening, and I'll catch you in part 3. Ka kite anō.